Hey everybody, I am Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today I'm going to get really transparent and kind of expose some things to talk about daily painting and how useful and helpful they are. And I'm really going to kind of like give you a sense of why it helped me, why I did it, if it would help you, and why you should do it. And then I'm going to tell you about a really cool free program. So I'm going to show you some early work. I'm going to show you my warts of before and afters.
And you'll be
And I'm going to share with
transparent
you
in the whole thing.
what?
Whoop.
What?
Transparency.
What?
You said you're going to be
Oh, I
transparent.
thought you were telling me we were live.
You were like, I said all that stuff. Wait.
That happens, guys, more than you know. More than you know. I'll do a whole intro and John's like, it didn't stream.
And she's like,
What? I can never remember what I said. So, I'm kind of opening. I opened on my pigs, which is, let's go back to the pigs for a second if we can. So the pig to the side of me here is 2014. So why I started a daily painting. Why did I do that? I've been an artist my entire life. My mom was an artist. My grandmother was an artist. I had a grandfather who was a photographer. I really got to grow up in art, which I have come to understand what a blessing it is. Now I've taught art online for like 7 years. And I had a good art practice. I did things. I sold things. I was doing okay. And we had a weird tragedy. We had a tragedy hit our family, and we were out of country, and we lost everything we owned. I lost every bit of paint I had, my easels, my studios, my paintings, everything. And when we came back, I had to reset. And it had been a minute. I'd been having kids, and it had been a minute since I'd been working professionally in my career.
that's a super nicest way I've ever heard someone say, I lost my job.
Well, and almost died.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah. My husband almost died. He
the
lost his job.
violins.
He lost 120 pounds in 3 months. It was a rough time. We literally drove back on the Oregon Trail.
We did.
So I found myself very lost in my art process, and I had done paintings, I had paintings, but they were older, and I had a process, and it just was very difficult. And then I had started doing painting parties, and it was really interesting. I had very successful painting parties, but I had this very limited idea of what you could do with students in 1 to 3 hours.
Okay, but this requires some context.
Okay.
Because her bosses at the time had this store where they thought they were going to be hiring this person who's going to come in here in about an hour or so. Some people were going to come in, some were going to kind of do some drinking, and they were going to leave with something that maybe resembled a flower, and that was it.
Yeah.
But what happened was that people started showing up and repeat because their flowers got better and better and better.
Well, and as I worked with people, I started to realize that talent is just definitely not a real thing. Persistence and practice and skills being developed, and that what we were calling talent was how you take all your art skills and turn it into a story on a canvas. That's kind of when we say that person is talented, what we're really saying is that person has taken a lot of skills and conveyed some personal element of their human experience very well. And of course, some people learn skills easier, and I have some skills I learn easily and some skills I don't. So let's go back and you see the 2014 to 2021 progress. This is kind of conditional, and I'll tell you this because that's a pretty big, woo, that's so dramatic, right? And we'll go back to the pig in a second, but let's look at what I did before. This is not before. This is actually class. All right. So this is the artwork I was doing before the crisis, before everything. You see here, this was actually part of the paper and craft market. I did very illustrative works. I did very graphic works. Do we have the one at the house?
Yeah, hold on just a second. I'm going to do this for a second.
He's going to go through some of these. So I had paintings, and I could paint well. I don't know where I went.
I'm going to bring you back in just a
Okay.
second.
I
That
had
should make you
paintings.
bigger.
I could paint well. But what I found is that
But I had a question. Is this like the first section of?
Yeah, let's call this. We already did why I did a daily painting, and we're going to go back to this is a look back at my work. You missed the section.
We missed the section.
Yes,
so let's
you missed the
call
section.
this a section because I want.
We're going to call this a section. It's my early work. So I worked. I hung in galleries. I sold work. I had a process. Paintings took me a minute to do. I did work over a slow period of time. So I could do work at this level. This was a gift for a family member. That painting took me forever to do. I could do that probably now in 4 hours. But at the time, it took me a really long time. You could see some paintings of mine hanging on the wall. There, I did that really cute graphic piece that was part of paper and card. The hearts were part of a collection that sold, that was licensed out. So I was working.
You can see a rare one of my paintings behind hers
Yes?
on the wall.
Yes.
I painted that wall
John painted that wall.
and the ceiling.
You're seeing our first house really here.
This was our first decorated. Like we did this. You'll see our kitchen next.
So it wasn't like when you looked at that first one. These were I was selling something called ACEOs on eBay, which are little 2.5 by 3.5 inch paintings, and they sold very well. And I did work, and there's my kitchen. You can see some of my art there. Let me have a cough for a second.
Okay, hold on a second. There you go. Okay, cough away. Do. Okay, now you can talk.
Okay, so that pig, right, that you saw earlier, it didn't look like this work. And that's because artists develop processes, right? I had sketches, I could do designs, I could iterate, I could look at something for a day and change my mind.
You know how this was Cinnamon's kitchen?
It's purple.
Coffee pot.
Oh yeah, the coffee pot. Yeah, no, we never had a Joe coffee pot. It's always been Biz. I love that kitchen. I'm gonna do that again.
It was a pretty kitchen.
It was a pretty kitchen. So that was my regular life. So when I came out of I'm gonna cough again. Sorry.
Okay, cough. Okay.
When I came out of the painting party and we decided we were going to do this on YouTube, I had to do something very difficult. I had to abandon my process and I had to narrate my process and I had to do it in a short amount of time. And I had to do that a little bit in the painting parties, but I could simplify those paintings so much. And on YouTube, you guys were hungry for more. It was always, you guys actually pushed me so hard. You were always hungry for more. You wanted to do deeper paintings. You wanted to learn more about art. You wanted to understand process and color theory and technique. And I was like, wow, this isn't really a painting party. Like I'm selling it like it's a painting party, but it's not. I'm teaching you to paint. These are art classes and I have an hour to 3 hours of your attention for a certain painting. And so the first year, I had this idea of what I could do, but I had to really change how I did it. What I had to be able to do is go to a canvas, no sketches, no prep, no work, right? Because that wasn't going to be sustainable. Have a reference, have an idea, and paint it and explain it raw. That's a crazy thing to have to be able to do, right? In my old process, I might spend 3 weeks thinking about what I was going to paint. But on our show, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 30 paintings in a month. I don't have a lot of time to just meander through a thought. I mean, I still invest a huge amount of time into it, but I can't linger.
You can't put the painting in your kitchen and walk up and look at it every in the morning and ponder on the placement of the
Stare
next
at it with my
tree.
coffee because you guys are painting it with me. So if we can go back to the pig.
Okay. Is this your first daily?
This is my very first daily painting.
All right. So let's call it that.
So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna look at this.
Not there.
This
We're gonna go
pig.
there. You gotta
So
come back.
man, I gave myself some conditions. I gave myself some rules. Small canvas, a limited amount of time. I was like, you cannot be at this for more than an hour. And that includes picking the image. Like you have to go, you have to be able to put out your paint and pick your tools and freehand it and go. And you can't second guess it. And it doesn't matter what it is, you have to accept it.
Yes.
And this is what happened to me. Now you saw the Flaming June. I could paint. And no, not yet that. Not yet. So this is what happened to me. And it happened to me for a while. This experience of the painting not being what, one, I felt I could do as an artist, and two, realizing that I couldn't just raw put it out there. And that's what was going to be needed to be here on YouTube, was to be able to just put this out there at this high level and explain it and narrate it, which is, let me tell you, talking and painting, it's a journey. I seem like a talker and I am a talker, but actually I'm a very quiet painter on my own. And so, music and talk to John, but not like where I explain to anybody what I'm doing. And not until the painting parties I ever had to do that. So here I am, and that's him. And I'm going to tell you that I cried. And I went to John and I said, I don't know if I don't know, maybe I hallucinated that I was ever an artist.
I remember.
I didn't want my mom to see it. It was so weird. I was so ashamed. Like I hid it. And many artists hide our works that we're not proud of. We curate what we show the world. I don't get to do that anymore. Like my good stuff and my bad stuff is just out there. It just is what it is. But at this time in my life, I was still in the illusion that I could curate.
Man, nothing like being an artist on YouTube to rob you of your ego.
Oh, yeah. So I painted every day and I cried a lot, and there were many ugly paintings and there were some good ones, and I kept at it. And about day 30, it clicked. Something started to click and I started to go, okay, I can see it. I can feel it. And then it started to change what I could do. Now, I'm going to show you 2021. I've been painting.
And this is your pig redo.
This is my pig redo now, because I wanted to show you. I used the same rules, the exact same rules to the first pig. This is on an 8x8 canvas. This is going to be the last day of Acrylic April. It's on an 8x8 canvas, and I gave myself this short period of time. I free-handed it out, all the same rules. And I have to say, not only was it easier, it was a joy. And I knew exactly how I would explain it to anybody else. And I couldn't have done that if I had not suffered for about a year. Totally
Suffer.
And it was,
Suffer like
I made
it.
myself paint stuff I didn't like. I made myself paint stuff from the junk drawer. I made myself just get up and paint, no matter how I felt, no matter what was going on. Sometimes I did a really messy abstract, but I made myself get into the studio. And
Like Rocky, like doing the...
I have these students, right? And, let's look at the fox. Let's go through the fox. So let's look at the fox. The fox was, do you have the first fox?
Do I have the first?
Let's talk about this, because the fox actually shows my journey of just painting a lot. Does painting a lot help you? So the fox was a few paintings into my daily painting. I think he was like painting 12. And I actually was I didn't love him, but I didn't hate him. We had kind of an uneasy relationship, and he was immediately sold, which just completely shocked me. And I'm so grateful to the person who bought them. That support meant everything. So there he was.
Gets us here.
8x10. Same rules, same everything. And then, I've been teaching on YouTube for a minute, so I felt like maybe I could teach a fox face on.
Yeah.
So then we did, and I had been painting the daily painting, and that's where I got. And I taught that painting, and I explained it. And there were things I would do differently. But it was, you guys might not have known it, but it was a huge deal for me to be able to take what is in me and get it out and explain it to anybody, and then have you guys do it at home. And then as we've gone along, and I have continued to paint almost every day, let's do the Acrylic April fox. Now this is where we're at. That class was under an hour, and you guys had fantastic results, and it was just like breathing for me. That looks effortless now, and was, I don't want to tear up, but it was a misery to get there sometimes, and it was a joy to get there. It was frustrating and overwhelming and so transformative, and I would not be able to paint that sunset that I didn't practice that sunset. I painted once before, but it wasn't a practice. I just put it up and I was like, I'm just going to paint that. I'm going to explain it to you. We're going to make a mini book out of it, and you're going to be able to paint it too. And that is what happened, right? Not in 10 hours, but in under 3. I think it was 2.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Painting that would have taken me weeks before I can just breathe out. So I tell my students all the time, they say, how can I get better at painting? I don't think I have any talent. I don't think I can do anything. And what I want to say is take classes, learn techniques, get your skills for sure. But nothing will make you better at painting than getting to the easel and painting every day in some way. So in 2019, I had a crazy idea with my partner, crazier than being an art teacher on YouTube, where I was going to teach art for free so everybody could be happy and do art. I was going to do a daily painting live every day. Mm-hmm. I was going to show people what daily painting had done for me by doing the daily painting with them, my whole process. And I did that. And it was mayhem and wonderful and incredibly difficult on me. And the community was so patient because I painted every day live with you guys.
And that was the one with the squirrel and the.
And that was the couple on the beach. That was the rainbow kids in the
Oh
puddles.
yeah.
The little boy fishing. I did a lot of wonderful, I had a lot of wonderful dog holding flower. So many wonderful paintings in that series. And man, we were at it. Like I had never tried to go live every day. Now I could go live every day for a year if we had. YouTube won't let us because you guys get tired and YouTube goes. But we could.
Yeah.
And that's because of you. And then 2020 happened. And by then I'd kind of figured out what we were doing. And I realized, we have to do this ahead of time.
Oh,
no, you can leave. Not yet.
Not yet. I got. It said you got me excited.
I got him excited. So 2020 happened, and by then we realized we needed to do steps and we needed to write out instructions, and we wrote a book which didn't get to market, mostly just because we had to learn how to be publishers. But we learned how to write then instructions for the videos. Come to 2021 when every single video had 128 written out instructions that were free for you to download if you missed that. It's like books that you download for free. I'm not saying I won't ever put them together in compilations and books and sell them, and maybe you can support me in that way. But I'm just saying this was a free resource because I realized if you could see it written out and you could see it in video, and then you had a step-by-step infographic, you had enough information to be able to do almost anything. So that's what that gave us, that first 2020. And then in 2021 happened, and I thought to myself, you know what I really want to teach everybody is how to paint water and landscape. And that was a big year. I didn't keep the classes as short, and we really did it. And for everyone that completed it, you're tough enough because I know what it takes. I did it. I know what it takes. And we had many books for that one released as it went out. That was there for you. So that's 3 years. You're now coming on 4. Now you can do the infographic.
All right. I got the graphic.
So everybody this year was like, what's the theme? And the theme is bloom. And the reason the theme is bloom is because everybody tells me they can't paint flowers.
Huh.
That's just number one thing I hear. I can't paint flowers. Flowers make me angry. Flowers. So I'm like, okay, yes, you can. And we're going to do it every day. So this year's free program that you can participate in is bloom. Do you have the image of the art?
Well, I have the first image here, which is.
Oh, no, sweetie, that was when we were talking about 2019.
That's what I thought. That's what I was asking.
So let's go back and look at 2019. So this is 2019. There's 3 of those. Mm-hmm. Maybe 4 because there was that. So this is what we painted in 2019. Live, together.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
No theme, just kind of like what I did the first time. It's like, I love that cat. Whatever. It just is whatever. I just did it. Like that. It ended on the pink thing. The little boy fishing is one of my favorite lessons I ever done on the channel, weirdly. And then there is the next year where the fox came in, and you can see if you did all 3, and I'm sure those of you who are here on your 4th year will talk about that, we have become more skilled at teaching and doing these video lessons and making this available to you. There was water.
No.
Because I just thought, I have not messed with you enough. Let's teach you how to paint landscape and water. But be honest, if you did it, you now know water is a mirror, and you know how to do clouds and all the kinds of water and landscape and rocks and all the things that make water challenging.
You'd think I'd be better at running a show by now.
And here we are now at bloom to our pig. And so that's what we're doing this year. So when I say to you and I invite you to do a daily painting, and I say daily painting is something that can help you go from having a hard time working it out to having it be like breathing. And I would say being daily, because YouTube has had to make me daily, doing these daily painting projects with you, the first year, the 2013, 2014 daily painting that I did, made art a different experience for me. It's not that I don't ever have a bad painting, I do, but now it's fine. I don't even get, I'm fine. It's fine. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, ooh, I don't know where you came from, but I know the next one will be fine and I can move on, and it's like breathing and it's part of me and it's different for me than it's ever been. And that's what changed it for me. I don't think I could be me today teaching art the way I do to you guys if I hadn't painted every day. And so here we are. Tomorrow's April 1st. And we're going to begin our daily painting, which is the 2 butterflies and the lavender. If you want to check it out right now, there's a sneak peek every day, the day before a video is released. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at what the following day will be. So that video is in the short shelf. I think the moderators have links. They probably have links to find the Acrylic April page on materials. They will have all the information and resources that you need. We will meet every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The chat will be live. For most of every class, I will be there in the chat to answer questions. We have some travel this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're stuck around that, but I will do everything I can to be online, service willing to be there to answer questions. There are mini books for this course, and there are traceables, and there is support like no other free program on, this beautiful green earth. And it's free. And it's free because art supplies are expensive. And I know what that's like. And you don't even have to have my supplies. You can make this work with your own supplies. If you have your own supplies, do the color chart, do the playlist where you prepare for Acrylic April, and I give you advice. I have a whole playlist on how to set up your studio, how to talk to your family, how to mentally prepare yourself, how to make sure your colors and my colors are synergistic, even if you have different colors. I have a blog all about the color Naples Yellow Light, also Tighten It Yellow. If you are like, this one paint is a pain for me, right? Because there's one Band-Aid color and one lovely lemon green. Called the same thing. That's why there's a blog, but it tells you everything you need to know. I don't expect you to know anything, and you can do this. Know that I did it. I did it, and I had that first daily painting, and I had the second and the third, and I had a lot of them. And it went on for a long time, but it worked for me, and it has now worked for 4 years for about 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a lot, which means it can work for you. There's a group on Facebook, Acrylic April. You come in there. Guess what else? If painting every single day, a complete painting is overwhelming, make it work for you. Paint a little bit every day. Paint consistently. Take more time to do the program. We have a lot of people that take a year. They still get the skills.
Do they need to pre-paint the backgrounds in?
No. I know everyone's loving to ask that. If they were all pre-painted, I would definitely get that too. You don't need that. The mini books are there. The preparation I would say personally do is look at the preview videos. If you love the prep, to all my preppers, as my mom would like to say, sock folders. I'm gonna cough.
I got you muted.
As my mom likes to say, sock folders. If you're organized and you very much like that preparation, and that really helps you, watch the day before videos. Look at the paintings that are up. You'll see that. We are really coming in and painting, and each process for each painting is a little bit different on how we get it done. Definitely get your stuff set up, get your colors out. You can see the colors for the next day's projects. You can have all that stuff out, the materials out. You will have the preview videos, so you'll be like, oh, I see how that went together. So if there's something you need to do at home to prep that, to make sure you're ready to go when I'm ready to go, if you're doing the traceables, print it out. I teach the drawing on every class. I just teach the drawing on every class, but a traceable is available for everyone. And I have a video on how to use a traceable, and you can use a traceable, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a Renaissance technique. So really, I can't tell you how cool it is to use one. And I'll tell you in the video, this is when you'd use the traceable. Whenever I'm drawing it out, that's when you would use the traceable. And, I think the patrons get to see a lot of this early. They get to see videos early. They get to see things early. And based on their paintings, I know you guys are going to be great. If you're 4th year, throw thumbs up. Like, let them know you're 4th year. You may have noticed if you're an emoji club that you got new emojis for Acrylic April. If you want to support us, because we do this awesome free work, we've got a patronage, and you get to see stuff early, like Acrylic April early. And we also have emoji club ways to support us. And eventually we'll have all these free books we make bound together for sale. And so you'll have that. Until then, here's what. come to the Acrylic April group, ask every question. No one is ever tired of the questions. We have so many fourth years who were first years, and they were first years with me when I didn't know what I was doing. So they're like really fourth years. Like Hogwarts opened and they're fourth years, right? Like it was just immediate. So they've really, really had the experience, and they will tell you so many things that I couldn't even think to tell you that will lift your spirit and elevate your confidence and make this possible for you. You can watch this from Facebook. You can watch this on Roku. You can watch this on YouTube. Every video will be available after the live stream forever. As long as this online streaming thing is still out there.
We got multiple places.
And we'll have multiple places, and it's free. And it's going to remain free, so you can get the materials, and so you can paint. Right?
Yeah.
Because people change the world, and art changes people. And the best way to hear your best self and your best heart is to get to your canvas, put some color on it, and let that young person that understood coloring for coloring's sake was enough. Right? And have this journey with me and develop those skills. And if you have a frustrating painting, shall we put the pigs up again? Put up day one again.
Okay.
That's go back and look at my day one. I'm a third generation artist. I had been painting. I could do paintings. And that was my day one. This is a transformative experience, and it's okay no matter where you start, because you will end up in someplace amazing and magical. Look for the preview videos. They'll be on the short shelf. YouTube doesn't notify you, and I'll put them up on the day on Instagram and stuff, but you can see them early on YouTube. John, you got any words of encouragement?
This is really a fun program. So just complete your painting. Don't worry about too much it being perfect, because it's about doing the process more than doing a painting.
Do you have advice for partners of people who are doing Acrylic April? Because you were a partner to my wild idea that I was going to paint every day.
I'm a unique, engaged partner in that commitment. So I don't know what to say other than just, supportive, be there, make sure that, they need anything they need. Hang paintings often. I would say hang them up. Hang them on the wall. That's the big thing.
John never let me fall in a hole and not believe in myself. Ever. And there were days.
Yeah. But I'd say the biggest thing is hang them up, because they look so good when they're all together on the wall.
They do.
Even when you've got one that you may not be happy with, like when they're together in this collection, it looks so cool.
John hung them all up, and he never let me stop, and he never let me falter. If you don't have that person in your life, we'll be that person in your life. You come by the group, we'll be that person. Are you guys ready? Am I going to see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time to paint every day with me for a month?
Yeah.
All right. I hope I see you there. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.